On the Ukrainian front, Russian soldiers find themselves completely exposed and helpless. FPV drones sweep across the battlefield, leaving no place to hide. Each soldier moves cautiously, yet fully aware that a drone strike could hit at any moment. This is the new reality of modern warfare, where the skies themselves have become the deadliest hunting ground. A group of Russian soldiers was spotted near Marinka in the Donetsk region, moving toward hidden positions they had set up inside ruined houses. With their positions exposed, the Russian soldiers soon came under attack as the Ukrainian 414th Unmanned Attack Aviation Brigade launched FPV drones against them. Here comes the first drone strike. With the first strike, one of the three soldiers is taken out. Another rushes into an underground shelter they had built. But the drone strikes again. They were now left completely defenseless. A high explosive drone strike destroyed the underground position as well. The last Russian soldier, hiding inside the house in panic and fear, was struck by a third drone. In the end, not a single member of the assault group survived. Once again, a Russian soldier is seen wandering helplessly alone in the open field. On the front lines, Russian troops are either fleeing from battle or left abandoned in a dire situation. The Russian soldier looked around for a while, searching for a safe place to hide. He had no idea he was being tracked by a drone. The FPV drone operator had already launched a drone, moving in for the attack. The Russian soldier hid among the dense bushes, forcing the FPV drone pilot to search carefully for his position. With rain beginning to fall, there was no time to waste. The rapidly advancing drone finally pinpointed the soldier, who was lying under a bush, trying to rest. At that moment, the drone struck, too late for any chance of escape. A group of Russian soldiers advanced to attack Ukrainian trenches, only to find them already abandoned. As they searched the area for Ukrainian troops, they remained unaware that they were still inside a trap. Soon, Ukrainian FPV drones launched a precise strike. One soldier, taking cover under a tree, was immediately caught by the drone, while another, inside the trench, was neutralized by the attack. This operation demonstrates how Ukrainian forces use drones to control the battlefield, turning even seemingly empty positions into deadly ambushes. A few Russian soldiers, taking cover among the trees to rest, were detected by the 3rd Assault Brigade. A drone launched an explosive strike directly on the position where the soldiers were located. One of the soldiers emerged from the trees and quickly took cover in a nearby barrack. However, a drone strike followed, targeting the very shelter he tried to hide in. The other soldier, injured and unable to move from his position, was struck again by another drone-delivered bomb before he could escape further. Both Russian soldiers were unable to escape and were neutralized by the drone strikes. 2 Russian soldiers were spotted setting up new positions in a wooded area near Toretsk. They were monitored by drones for a period, unaware that their movements were being tracked. Once their coordinates were precisely calculated, Ukrainian forces launched a mortar strike on the position. Shrapnel from the mortar round struck immediately, taking one Russian soldier out of action on the spot. The other soldier took cover behind the trees, but Ukrainian forces remained determined to target him as well. An FPV drone was deployed, moving swiftly to strike the remaining soldier. Here, a Ukrainian FPV drone pilot uses a fiber optic drone to strike a Russian position where soldiers are hiding, executing the attack in a matter of seconds. Here's another house where Russian soldiers are hiding. At first glance, you might think no one is inside, but wait for the attack. A bomb-laden drone has been launched. The soldiers hastily tried to cover the windows, but it was not nearly enough to survive the drone attack. The FPV drone closed in on its target, striking through the window. With a powerful explosion, the house was reduced to rubble. With the first drone strike, movement erupts inside the house. The Russian soldiers panic in response to the unexpected attack. They must either stay put or flee. One soldier manages to escape, but others remain inside. A second drone is launched, moving in for the next strike. The second and final drone strike hits the house. Inside, none of the soldiers survived, except for one. Throughout the month, Ukrainian forces have continued operations in the Andriivka region, relentlessly targeting and pushing back Russian troops in the area. Russian forces tried to ambush Ukrainian units with FPV drone traps on the roads. However, Ukrainian forces, already familiar with this tactic, systematically destroyed the Russian drones one by one. Interestingly, this was a tactic originally used by Ukraine, but now the Russians attempted to turn it against them without success. Ukrainian forces now have the capacity to produce their own drones, allowing them to deploy larger numbers on the front lines. With more drones in action, they are able to carry out increasingly frequent and active operations against enemy positions. Fighters of the Black Forest Brigade detected a Russian self-propelled Buk M2 medium-range multifunctional SAM system and successfully adjusted their fire on the target. The Buk M2 is a Russian medium-range, self-propelled surface-to-air missile system designed to engage aircraft, helicopters, and cruise missiles. Ukrainian soldiers of the 4th Operational Brigade Rubizh cleared a village in the Pokrovsk direction. Ukrainian forces once again struck a Russian oil refinery using drones. Russian officials reported a small fire at the Gazprom Neftekhim Salavat petrochemical plant, caused by the debris of downed Ukrainian UAVs. A Russian military vehicle races down a logistics route when a Ukrainian kamikaze drone springs into action. As the drone approaches, the soldiers realize the threat and quickly abandon the vehicle. But it's too late. The drone strikes, and the vehicle is completely destroyed. Russian troops moving along logistic supply routes came under relentless Ukrainian drone attacks. Vehicles carrying soldiers, ammunition, and supplies to the front were targeted one by one. FPV and kamikaze drones struck with precision, leaving the convoy completely vulnerable. In the Bryansk direction, Ukrainian fiber optic FPV drones from the Panama unit of the 1st Special Purpose Brigade carried out a precise strike on a Russian field ammunition depot. The operation not only destroyed large quantities of munitions, but also targeted additional enemy equipment in the area, severely disrupting Russian supply lines. The use of fiber optic drones allows operators to maintain close, real-time observation while remaining completely safe, highlighting the increasing sophistication of Ukrainian drone tactics. Each strike is calculated, demonstrating how even a small, highly maneuverable drone can neutralize critical targets that would normally require heavy artillery. This operation underscores the growing role of FPV drones in modern frontline warfare, combining precision, speed, and strategic impact. In the skies above the front line, Ukrainian FPV drones relentlessly hunt their targets. Within just seconds, reconnaissance drones deployed by Russian forces are detected and destroyed, one after another. The Re-Drone project brings together multiple elite units, the Air Defense Forces, the Garpun and Pentagon teams of the 225th Separate Strike Regiment, and the Cossacks led by Balu. Each drone strike is precise, denying the enemy crucial intelligence and leaving them blind to the battlefield. Over open terrain and above the forests, Russian reconnaissance efforts are systematically neutralized. A Russian truck is relentlessly pursued through the forest by a Ukrainian fiber optic FPV drone. The chase is tense and unrelenting. Finally, the Russian vehicle crashes into a tree, giving the drone the perfect opportunity to strike. This operation by the 112th TDF Brigade showcases the precision and persistence of Ukrainian drone units against moving enemy logistics. The true impact of Ukrainian FPV drone operations becomes clear. Across the front lines, Russian soldiers remain exposed and vulnerable, unable to anticipate or counter these rapid, precise strikes. Vehicles, artillery, and fortified positions have all been neutralized by relentless drone attacks, leaving the enemy scrambling for cover. As the smoke clears and the echoes of explosions fade, it becomes undeniable. The FPV drone has become an essential instrument of warfare, turning even the most cautious advances into dangerous gambles. Russian soldiers, once confident in their positions, now face a new, unforgiving reality.